What's up, my scholars? It's your professor here, the Enlightened Enlisted, and we got hit with some big news from the developers today. This article is jammed-packed with information, and I picked out the top 10, in my opinion, that are the most important. However, I wanted to stress these are in no particular order, as I find them all very important to this game's future. I have included the article below with a promo code you can redeem if you haven't already. Even if you've played this game or not, you can redeem this for some gold and I believe a little bit of premium time. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get into this list. Number 1. Is my campaign level or skill level affecting the opponents I fight against in battle? The answer is not for now. All players will be matching with the same battles because we are balancing weapons and vehicles in the game so that even the most upgraded tank can be destroyed by the same explosive pack, and one lucky bullet will kill a 5-star soldier, all of the same time. However, we do have the plans to implement matchmaking based on the campaign levels. It will work as follows. The matchmaker will try to find enough high-level players to gather them into one battle. But if that fails in a certain amount of time, the level quotation fork will expand up to the current state, all players against all players. Thus, it will be possible to play with experienced players if there are enough of them without greatly affecting the time wait in queue. This is nice because while I feel right now you can be effective with a bolt-action rifle against, say, a M1 Garand semi-automatic rifle style, you do have to play a bit differently in order to survive. The big thing I like to see is how they are balancing it along the level of soldiers. Because as you know, there is a big difference between a level 5 squad and a level 2 squad. I do agree with them as well, though, that the game is balanced in the sense of a rifle can kill a level 5 soldier from distance. You don't have those kinds of complications. But like I said, you do have to play a little bit different. I also like that they're not going to make you wait in queue for long periods of time. Number 2. How many campaign levels and missions do you consider enough to have a campaign completed in terms of content? This is specific to each campaign. We are trying to add as much weapons and equipment as possible from the battles of the particular campaign. As long as they don't mess with the balance of the game overall, the current campaign are expected to have over 40 levels in the final version. This is self-explaining now that we know the highest we can go is level 40. You best get your grind on, boys. I know a lot of people are disappointed with this, as I see this as a too grindy approach to the game, but I'm looking at it absolutely positive, as it's going to have continuous content for me to work towards. Remember guys, Rome wasn't built in a day, it only took a week. I also like how they said they're trying to add as much weapons and equipment as possible from the battles of that particular campaign. Now, I kind of disagree with what they just said there, because if we are looking at other campaigns right now, they have weapons that were not used by those specific people. I know they're going to cover this a little later in the video, so stay with us, and we can kind of address that as we go forward. Number 3. Apart from the already announced campaigns, what other campaigns will be in Enlisted? We can't reveal any specifics yet, but we are planning campaigns in all key World War II centers, including, for example, the Pacific. Now, if you've been with us for a while, we already knew that they were going to do a bunch of different campaigns in World War II. I predicted the Japanese coming to the game over a month ago. If you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check that one out after this one. The fact that we're going to the Pacific is awesome, but I do hope we get some campaigns that are unique. I'll be making a video soon about campaigns I would like to see as a historian, so if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that so you don't miss out. Number 4. Based on what do you choose weapons and equipment for campaigns? For example, the M4A3E2 Jumbo was not used in the Normandy landings, but it is present for the US side in the campaign. The first weapons and equipment that appear in the campaign are those that were historically used in the battles on which campaign is focused. They have absolute priority. However, there are situations when one of the sides clearly lacks some tools for the good of balance. Therefore, we use the following principles for adding the content. If the equipment or weapon existed during the battle, reflected in game, they have a chance to appear in the campaign itself. To put it simply, the same jumbo was created during Operation Overlord, which is the theme of the Invasion of Normandy campaign. The historian in me struggled to grasp this as I looked at each campaign from the lens of a historian. But as a game developer, this makes sense to stick to weapons and equipment that a faction would use for the sake of balance. Enlisted is not a military simulator, and if you are really looking for something like that, I would suggest something like Postscriptum, which I'm also streaming now. So if you haven't followed me on Twitch, go ahead and check that out. We are streaming every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Although I do disagree with what they said a little bit in this, as there are weapons and equipment that are being used in campaign that were not developed at the time that they're in this campaign. If you know what those are, go ahead and comment below with them, and I will let you know if you are right or wrong. Number 5. Which customization option will appear first? Options such as uniforms, weapons, faces, and players' names. We will start with the most highly requested customization option, the ability to change the names and faces of your soldiers. It will be coming soon enough. For me, this is going to be super nice for organization. As a streamer, it's also going to be able to have me a better interaction with my viewers, as I'm going to be able to name squad members after a VIP or other viewers, just to add a new different types of interaction. It's also going to allow me to have that organization, as I said before, by naming them something like can throw grenade very far 1 2 3 4. That way I can kind of organize my troops very quickly within the squad without having to go through a lot of the UI while I'm streaming. So the fact that you can customize people's faces isn't very important to me personally, but let's be honest, some of these guys look like they are going to be 40-year-old virgins. Number 6, the ability to destroy a rally point remotely without having to return to it. Thank God they added this. Once again, this is showing their commitment to the engineering role for Enlisted. We will discuss this role in future videos, as in my opinion, it is the most looked at and developed role in the Enlisted game thus far. Now, also in the article, they mentioned they are looking at adding other roles. That is not included in this list, so I really suggest that you go and read the article after watching this video. But in that article, they do not reveal that they have any other class on the table to be worked at. Number 7, the ability to try out premium squads at the practice range without buying them. This is another great addition for the consumer. You guys are watching all kinds of content on YouTube from other great YouTubers like Quadro on these premium squads, and you want to try them out as well before you make that purchase. Now you have that ability to do that. Big kudos to Darkflow for their foresight in adding this into game. Number 8, improving the Academy's interface, and in particular, adding a link to the squad the soldier is assigned to. I've been saying this since closed beta. The UI is too overwhelming for newer players and needs some major updating. This message seems to be universal for a lot of players, as Darkflow has announced multiple times now that they are going to be updating the interface. That is very, very important for the future of this game, and I'm so glad to see that they are continuing that commitment. Number 9. Will the rank 5 for soldiers remain the highest in game? At the moment, we have no plans to increase the maximum rank of soldiers, but after the 5th rank, there will be another level of upgrade, veterans, but it won't work quite the same way as the ranks, so stay tuned. This is interesting, as we just talked about how the UI is too complicated, and now they're adding a whole nother level to it. I'm looking forward to seeing some information about these veteran troops, as I want to know how they're going to add them to the game and what kind of benefits you're going to have in order to achieve that status of veteran. Number 10, are there plans to add female characters to the game? Yes, we have plans for historical squads which women actually fought. Now, this is probably the most controversial point in this list, and it has been hit with a lot of different opinions on both Reddit and the official Enlisted forum. So much so that I am going to make a separate video on this topic ASAP, giving you guys my thoughts and the historical background for this. So stay tuned for that. But just know that they are going to add females to this game. So what do you guys think? Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Let me know in the comments below. Well guys, a lot of cool stuff coming out to Enlisted. Are you excited or disappointed? Let me know in the comments below, or you can tweet out to me at Gaming Enlisted. I want to hear from you directly. What do you think? Is there something else I could have put on this list in your opinion? And what are your opinions about females being added to the game? If you liked today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me convince my wife that I can do this as a full-time job. And as always, guys, hit those books and hit those bottles. Cheers.